Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2024 Genesis GV60 Performance. Now, don't be fooled by its bubbly exterior. This thing has a super mean attitude. So let's get started. We get started in the front and we can see, yeah, this thing is bubbly. It looks kind of like a Ninja Turtle, but the important thing is this color, the Atacama Copper. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but whatever you want to, however it's pronounced, this thing looks incredible. This color is so nice, and these lines tend so well to that color. They just go really well. They have that super loud, like neon green. I love loud colors, but this is such a subtle, like, loudness to it, if that makes sense, but love the color. And we get started on some styling, and we do have the split lighting here on the headlights, and it looks really nice. I love the way that this looks. The lighting output is nice and clear, no issues with that. And then we have the grille at the bottom. We have that kind of Genesis crest that goes on a little bit down here, and we have the front facing camera because this does have a 360-degree system, which is actually really good. And yeah, we'll see those mirror cameras that really Genesis taps into them for things like, you know, checking your blind spots. We have the Genesis crest badge on top there. But overall, this thing is nice. You know, it's just, that color is spectacular. And we do have, like I said, we do have kind of this bulbous look to it, but let me tell you, this thing is super sharp. So let's see what we have under this hood. We get under the hood and we have this. So we have kind of a small frunk. So we go ahead and open this up, and yeah, we have space for small things. There's a little basket in here, or netting. There's a little light, which is nice. This is a lot better than the Kia EV6 that we had. That was super flimsy up here. This is like super on there. It is not gonna move, which is nice. But then I can't see what's underneath it to show you guys, because you need to take out a bunch of bolts around it. But it's nice to have that little thing. So let's talk about what's underneath that storage. So underneath there, we have a 320 kilowatt dual motor system with 160 kilowatt in the front and 160 kilowatt in the rear. That's gonna give us 429 horsepower in the performance model, and we are looking at an estimated range with the performance model of 235 miles of driving range. Now, this thing, it goes. Yeah, this is one of those EVs that really just go like a bat out of hell. It is a lot of power to the point where you have to really be careful with it. Yeah, you have to be really responsible with it. Yes, I'm gonna quote Spider-Man, Uncle Ben, because it will go really quickly on you and you won't even expect it. Eco mode is nice for everyday driving. That was 99% of the times where I was in. And then comfort gives you a little bit more. It's a little bit on the aggressive side. So comfort is, you know, you can give it some go and it will go. And sport, yeah, sport will, yeah, go into illegal felonies territory. And boost, yeah, it has a little boost button, which we'll take a look at. That's gonna be, you're gonna Grand Theft Auto 5-star situation, because it will go. This thing is, I dare say, almost scary fast. It really is. Now, again, when you put it in eco mode, it is really calm. There's no issues, you know, with everyday drivability. I love that. It was smooth power plant on there. That boost button, I do love the fact that you do get the boost button and it will kick you into sport mode for 10 seconds and give you that jolt of power for those 10 seconds. So it's just that boost. But overall, the power delivery was fine from wheel to wheel. No issues there from the front to the back. It doesn't feel like a front heavy or rear biased power distribution. It really feels balanced when you're delivering the power. So let's go ahead and see what we have in those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have this nice 21-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 255/40 Michelin Primacy Tour all-season tire. Now, they do offer a 19, a 20, and a 21-inch wheel configuration. Honestly, 21 is really the way to go. I didn't think it was that big because these openings around the wheels are just so massive, because the vehicle, it's not the smallest, but it's not the largest. And to have a big 21-inch wheel and it looks good in the sense of proportions, yeah, that was due to the big opening. But the design looks great. 19 still look great. 20 still look great as far as the design, and the 21s just look incredible. I love this. Very futuristic, very aggressive look. The color is really nice as well. And we move over to the tire, and the tires were really good at being quiet. The grip, they struggled a little bit, but a lot has to do with how the power was being delivered to them, how it's being distributed to those tires. So just be aware of that. You can overpower these things really quickly. The other thing with this as well is the suspension. So it does have an active suspension. It also has like that sensing thing where it knows a bump and it's gonna adjust to it. With that being said, you have a lot of like no feeling. It's dead. It's dead with the road, and it's in a weird way, because yes, this is a performance vehicle and you want to have a little bit, you still want the luxury and comfort, but I've driven luxury and comfort cars that are giving you feedback of the road that you need to make sure that you're not overpowering these tires, and you don't get it with this. It's such a weird floaty feel to it. So yeah, the suspension, I wish it were a little bit more you know, talkative in the sense of telling me what's going on. And if I didn't want to, put it in comfort mode. Since you're adaptive, you can adapt to being that dead feeling that you want when you are in a comfort mode. The brakes are great. Brakes are great to get this big guy stopped. No issues there. And yeah, that's pretty much what you get here. Let's go ahead and see what we get on the side. We get to the side and we can see this thing's kind of cool looking. It's got kind of a quirky design to it. There's a lot of cool little things that kind of really come together. So let's check them out. So first we take a look at the front and we can see that the headlights are peeking out just a little bit. We get over to the wheels and yeah, you can see what I'm talking about as far as the proportion. 21-inch wheel is really the way to go with this big opening. Again, it's not a super large car, it's not a super small car, but the 21-inch wheels for the big openings work well. And then we have kind of this little fender. Now what's kind of weird about this is usually we get these little fender flares or edges or lips, whatever you want to call them, usually to stick out. These actually go in. So the body, the actual metal body line above it is coming out. So yeah, a little bit different, but I like it. I like the color to it. We have it again with the copper color that just looks so nice. This thing just looks incredible. And we follow up with a nice side skirt at the bottom. Here we have swooping lines, and there's not many sharp lines to this, but there are just kind of subtle, like massaged lines and almost clay-like design lines to this. So really nice. We do have black framing underneath, but we do get the chrome at the top, which I'll let it go because we do have some cool like triangle zigzag situation going on there, which I really, really like. We have the roof rails here for you to put your other toys that you want up there. And again, we have the fender little lip cover thing, whatever you want to name them, not lip. And we have the spoiler, which we'll get to soon. Now, the other thing I want to mention is we do have our door handles are smooth with the body, so they don't stick out. I don't have the key fob with me. It's actually off camera because you are able to program this so that when you approach it, it will go ahead and unlock for you. So let me go ahead and grab that key. Now the key is in my pocket, so as soon as I get close to it, it unlocks, it opens up the handle. Now, the other thing this has is right back here, it has for your face. So you literally just stand in front of it and it will pick up yourself and it will unlock. The problem is, this is a press car, can't really program that, but you have that. I think maybe they're a little bit on the early side, because imagine you're just kind of here and just kind of doing one of those. People are gonna think you're weird, yeah, or something's wrong with you. But we have that. Now, I took a little too long to open it, but you can also just kind of swipe and it should open up. There we go. And now I can go ahead and do that. And we're in. Yeah, nice big opening. Now, let me go ahead and close it. And this is a problem I've been having with this one. Let me know, guys, if you own one of these Genesis, if you have a problem with closing your door. You really gotta throw it, or else it won't close. And you know, I'm throwing it at a sensible amount. Yeah, that was kind of sensible. Like, you really have to throw it. So I don't know if this one in particular, the door is heavy. So I don't know if it's slightly out of alignment and you're having to really throw it, or if that's its intention, you have to really throw it. So we have that. Now I'll go ahead and lock it. And in the back, I don't have a way of unlocking it to open it. So yeah, you kind of have that. So you do have to kind of unlock there, and that makes it available for the back for you to get in. Nice big opening with no problem. So close that off, lock it. And again, I forgot the mirror. So the mirror has the 360-degree camera system, or part of it, and you'll see when we go inside where it taps into it to show you your blind spots when you put your turn signal on. But overall though, this side profile is incredible. I love the way it looks. I love the little design cues to it. I love just the shape to it, that bulbous kind of design, that clay kind of sculpting to it. Yeah, it looks really good. Let's go ahead and head to the back and see what we have back there. Now, if you're wanting to charge your EV60, your gas cap is gonna be on the passenger side in the back, and you have the option with the key fob to just go ahead and push it, and it opens up. And there you can go ahead and plug in your charger. I was using my Autel charger, which was great at charging, no issues with that. And you can also plug in that adapter you have inside to go ahead and use the power out of the Genesis to power up whatever you may need to charge. We get to the back and we can see this thing looks really cool. I love a lot of the design aspects of it. I see a lot of freedom of, hey, just do your best and, you know, have fun with it, enjoy it. And we have some quirky stuff in here that looks really good. So we get started on the top and we have this big, massive rear glass, and a couple of things with this. So first, the design looks cool because it's just a big glass and it just kind of melts over, just kind of comes over to the body line here, which looks great. And again, we have that little zigzag we have with the little chrome trim. The fender looks really nice. It bulges out back here to give it just that really like bulldog kind of stance to it. Now, going back to the rear glass, this is, even though it's a big glass, it's very difficult to see out of the back. And that's the next thing I want to talk about, is this rear spoiler. Looks cool on the outside. I think it's really needed because of how this line would not really connect to this, but your visibility is horrible because this is literally in your line of sight. So not a big fan of this. So as far as practicality, but beauty is pain, I guess, because this looks really good, but you're gonna be suffering a little bit to see out your rear glass or through your rear view mirror. So yeah, we have that. And then the taillights. I love these taillights. We have kind of that frosted red on the inside with a tint of red on the outside. So nice kind of depth, gives you this nice depth to it. And we have them split. So I love the fact that we have that body line in the middle there. Just a really cool design. Massive Genesis badge. We have the rear camera right under the spoiler. We have just this nice little body panel down here. No exhaust, obviously it's an EV, so no exhaust there. But we do have the reverse lights down there, which look really nice. But overall, this looks really good. I love this. Let's go ahead and open up and see what we have in here. Now, there are different ways to open up the trunk. So you have the remote option, you have the little button, or if you just get close to it with the remote, it will open up. So I have the remote in my hands, and once you get near it, it will go ahead and sense it. So yeah, it's already sensing, it's blinking, and yeah, it takes a bit, but it'll eventually open. And that is what we have in the rear. So we do get a lot of space, which I really love, to, you know, literally throw everything inside of here. And we do get this nice little cover here, so if we want to have some privacy, we can just go ahead and slide that in, and you're set with getting that there. Now we'll go ahead and take that off, and not just do we get the storage in here, but we also have little panels. I do love this side panel because it can open up and you have a little bit of storage. In this case, we have the charger that this came with, and you have the option with this charger to be able to charge other things. So you can use the battery as a source of power. So we go ahead and close that off, and we also have just a bigger opening. See if we can get that opening for a little bit more storage there for, you know, tire mobility kit there. But yeah, that pretty much does the back. And like I said, there's a good amount of space back there. Now we'll go ahead and just push the button there, close, and now let's see what we have on the inside. We get inside of the GV60, and let me tell you, there is a lot of nice stuff in here. Yeah, I'm excited to show you guys this one. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's first get started on the door, and let me tell you, there's a lot of amazing stuff in here. Let's go ahead and break it down. So at the top, we have this really soft leather material. It just feels so nice. Here we have kind of this Alcantara or micro suede. We have kind of this reflective little trim, which is nice touch. Now let's talk about the design aspects of these things. The door pulls to open up, they just look so cool. It just a really attention to detail with this vehicle. That looks really cool. I love the way that it feels. The finish is really nice. And why would you have to over engineer or just beautify a mirror adjustment? Why not? So literally, you just turn it to the left and you make your adjustments by pressing down. And yeah, and you can also fold your mirrors as well. But it's just that little attention to detail of why not? Why not make this look really cool and invite you to love every little design aspect? So loving that. And we do have the Bang & Olufsen tweeter up here, and at the bottom we are going to have the larger woofer for low range, and then the mid-range speaker. So yeah, there's a lot of speakers in this, and they sound really nice. The only thing I was kind of a little bit maybe design wasn't that great was the placement of the seat saving. So it is kind of really hidden there, but other than that, everything else is nice. This finish is really cool. We have my favorite seat lock for child's, and which makes it nice and convenient. You don't have to get out of the car. We have a little armrest here. Yeah, it's okay, no issues there. The compartment in here is not the biggest, so just be aware of that. But overall though, this thing is incredible. It's really cool. I love this door. And there's ambient lighting, which we'll definitely take a look at when we are looking in those settings. Now let's take a look at those seats. Talking about incredible luxury and comfort, yeah, these Nappa leather seats are amazing. Nothing short of amazing, really. And the color, yes, I know they're white. Yes, I know the whole interior is white, but yeah, just get a leather cleaner, because I think it's definitely the nicer option for this. So there is just the softest of headrests. This thing was incredible. When I was just laying my head back, I felt like I was you know, the angels were putting a pillow behind my head. That's how incredible that was. And the seating area is nice and comfortable as well. The adjustability in this is incredible. Tons and tons of settings that you have to really get your sweet spot. So the bolsters are adjustable. They will also adjust based on your setting of your drive mode. So you have that function to do that. But this is where it's at. This little kick out area here for like behind your knee made putting your feet on the pedal so easy and so relaxing. So like I said, tons and tons of adjustability, heated option as well as venting, so you could keep cool or you can keep warm. These things were awesome. Love them. Now let's talk about this steering wheel, and it is so nice. It's nice and big. You can see it is almost fluffy looking, and it really feels that way. Like you have a good amount of squeeze on it. It's so soft though. It is such a soft material. The stitching, could have liked a little bit more. The gray would have been nice to add to it a little bit more life, but the feel to the wheel, the design, it doesn't feel like it's 9 and 3. This feels a little bit higher. So probably like 230, which actually gave me a nice ergonomic feel when I was driving this thing. So I was liking the positioning of this, and yeah, not gonna lie, it kind of looks like a toy wheel because it's so fat around the padding, but let me tell you, it is so worth it. On the left here, we have your cruise control options we have for the next track, and yeah, basically that stuff on that side there. And we come down here, yes, we have our drive mode. We'll get into that, and more importantly, yes, we have the boost mode. This thing is gonna be a blast to show you guys. So we have that. We'll get to that soon. And here we have more options for like your infotainment control. We have your volume, and we have this BlackBerry type knob, which I was loving to do things like switch over to the next track or navigate the menu. Just really, really nice option for that to go next and back. But yeah, that is the wheel. And we also have the regen paddles here so that we can put iPedal on, which is basically the one pedal driving, or we can reduce basically the amount of regenerative battery that we're doing during braking. But yeah, that is the wheel. Yeah, it still looks like a toy, but it's really, really nice. Now we get to the gauge cluster, so I'll go ahead and turn it on, and you have the correct color here. You can change it, so if you regret getting the green one or that lime color and you want to go ahead and switch it over, you can switch that little guy, which is a nice little touch. Small details, but yeah, makes a world of a difference. So we have the gauge cluster here, and there's couple of things with this. There's a lot of settings. So right now we're gonna keep this simple because literally we would be here for hours just breaking things down and all the functions this has. But just to give you guys a brief look at it, yeah, that's the setting for the eco. That's how we can see it. So if I switch it over to comfort, we're gonna get that, and that's going to be for sport, and then you can press down and hold, and you can set it to be my mode. So on the left hand side, we're going to, I'll switch it back to eco. We have your speedometer, we have the center area where you can switch over to the different options, whether you want the map, whether you want the accumulated info, or you have the driving assist situation. So I can hold that down, and that's when we have this. So you're gonna get a lot of settings. Like I said, there's so much to this. So we'll keep things simple, and we'll just leave it at that. One thing I do want to go ahead and show you guys is the turn signal. So you could see when I put my turn signal on to the left, it uses my left camera. When I turn my right signal, it does the right camera on the mirror. Thank you. This is such a small thing, but it makes life so much easier when you're going to, you know, switch lanes. But that's just a small surface, because this will show you when you have a vehicle in your blind spot, and so will the heads-up display. So you get a lot of safety stuff to make sure, you know, no one is in your blind side or blind spot, and you're able to safely change lanes. Now, this gauge cluster can also change with a specific drive mode where you can make it simulate like if you have gears. So it kind of gives you a tachometer on that, which, like I said, we'll explore those things. There's just a lot of settings to this. Now, we go a little bit higher. You may not see it, but we do get a heads-up display right there, just ever so slightly there. But yeah, it's nice and clear. Again, these things are super hard to really capture on camera. There we go. That is our heads-up display, and it was pretty good. No complaints, no issues. You know, it did its job. Now we come over to the infotainment screen, and this is nice and big. It's long, it's not too tall, it's nice and sharp, it's nice and bright. Positioning is really good. I love it. You know, reachability is really there for what you want it to get to. Now, the problem with this, no wireless Apple CarPlay. Yes, so I do have to have my wired system, which the other thing is I don't have a USB-C, so we'll kind of jump to that. I don't have a USB-C to Thunderbolt, or sorry, USB-C to Lightning cable. Kind of on my end that I didn't have that to test out the Apple CarPlay, but I shouldn't have to be using a cable because we have a wireless charger, which we'll get to. But yeah, when I said there's a ton of things, I'm telling you, there are a ton of things in this. So what I love about Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia is you get a lot of these things, but it's not things you really need 100% to make your everyday driving okay. But when you do go into them and you find out what they do, it's really, really nice. One of my favorite things, I'll kind of show you guys, I'll be in 3D setup, and it just kind of shows you your car, and you can switch over to kind of how you want things to behave. So if I go to like EV, you're gonna see the charging menu. So it kind of gets you into these modes in a more visual, appealing way. So we have, you know, the door settings, the lift gate. Let's go to see inside, and yeah, again, it breaks it down. If I want to get to the heads-up display, that way you're not having to really navigate like a list of menus. You're able to visually see what you have. So let's go ahead and see if we go to vehicle settings, and we're going to talk about the drive modes. So drive modes, we have all these different drive modes. You have the way you can customize the My Drive. So the motor, the steering, suspension, the electronic limited slip differential, the traction control, that stuff. So you have that option to change there. And you have this cool thing that what I mentioned with the, let me switch it over to a different drive mode, comfort, the VGS becomes available. That is nice because it does, I love how they call it VGS, provides retro emotions of vehicles equipped with an engine transmission by shifting by creating a virtual shift. Yeah, it's really nice. I didn't mind it. So definitely we'll turn that on. And I don't know if you could hear it, but that's because we now have a sound. Yes, this has active sound design, and we have different modes for it as well. We can do, you know, the large, moderate, and small. Some of these modes, like G engine, are really loud. So let me actually go over to turn this off, and we will, oh yeah, that's the only thing is you can get lost in this. So I know where it is. I just need to get to it. So with the sound, you have the option of advanced. So we have a futuristic sound, we have a G engine, E motor, and you can customize your sound. There is a ton of options. You can put your master volume. So if you want this to be really loud, as far as, you know, how do you want it to respond to your pedal, and then the specific one that you want. So you can really customize how it behaves. we'll go ahead and we'll just kind of keep it in futuristic for now, and we'll switch between them. But yeah, there's just so much stuff with this here. It's just incredible. And this was one of my favorite with that Bang & Olufsen sound system. It gives you a better description of how you want your sound to be. Relax is obviously going to be a lot softer. Energetic is going to be, you know, really, really loud. And the treble and bass are defined by bright and warm. Yeah, this is really cool for, again, we're talking more about feel to these things. And that's what's cool about what Genesis is doing with these setups, where you kind of get more of a visual and more of a feel than I got to go to a menu. It's a better graphic user interface or GUI. So I really love that. There's just so many things here. But we'll go ahead and just kind of keep things simple with this and have our information of our EV. But yeah, like I said, I could be here for hours just going through every system, but let's just say there's a lot. Those were some of the cooler things that we had with the infotainment system. We come down to the climate controls, and this thing is amazing. I mean, it looks really good. It's super easy to literally just change what you want. With that, you have the option literally of choosing where you want to get the AC or the heating. So yeah, it's just nice. It works. Like, oh, and my favorite, auto, so you can be, you know, low, middle, or super high to get to that specific temperature that you've assigned. So we'll just kind of keep it on low there. But it's a nice screen. It looks really good. Very simple to use. Then we have the super quick buttons down here for your map, your navigation, your radio, media, so on. You can go to next track, that kind of stuff. So it's really easy to get to. Like I said, different menus in here. So I love that we still have hard buttons for those things. Then coming down here is where, yeah, this was kind of tricky because we have those USB-C ports down there, and we have that little opening. So typically, so what looks like Genesis wants you to do is plug in your iPhone with your USB-C and put it right in there. Yeah, I get it because it's nice out of the way, but then why put a wireless charger? Yeah, I don't know, but it's also kind of uncomfortable to get that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that little thing there. Now we come over here, and this, we do have some really nice things. So we do have like a fingerprint scanner. Again, we can't use this because it's not set up for us. We have our little cheese grater looking tune and volume knobs there. Again, more quick, super quick menu buttons and home and back, the usual. This guy is what I've been navigating the menus with, and it's super nice. It feels really good. So it's not just rotating dial, but you can also push it over, up, down, left, right, and so on. So I do love the fact that we have that option there. We get to the cup holders, and the cup holders are pretty useless when you're dealing with a small cup because this guy goes all over the place, especially with all the torque that this thing has. So just be aware that if you're gonna get a cup in this, it has to be massive. Get a big cup so that these little guys can down here can really hold it in, or you know, just take up the whole space there. Yes. Let's talk about this. So let me go ahead and shut the car off, and we get that. It is so nice. So this is the shifter, and yeah, you can see it's illuminated, which we'll switch over to kind of a night mode to show you guys the lighting to this, but this is just really nice. So we go ahead and press there, we turn it on, and it rotates. And we have our shifter here. So obviously we go reverse, neutral, or drive, and you're in business, or push the middle to stay in park. But yeah, really nice. It's still illuminated. It comes through a little bit, which you'll see when we go into a dark mode. But yeah, it's really nice. I love that. And then we have more climate buttons here for the seats. Really cool that they're super close to you, so you can put your venting options or your heated options there. and heated steering wheel. We have the auto hold, which is nice. The parking assist system, the alarm for parking proximity, and yeah, that's kind of what we get here. Now, kind of cheated there, but we have the wireless charger here, and I'll go ahead and chuck my charger. And did it catch? I think it did. Yes, it did. It caught. So I've been having a lot of issues getting this phone charged with wireless chargers on different cars. Not with this one, because of how it's positioned and how it really makes contact. It's been working literally 100% of the times. I haven't had any issues with it. It's charging there. This is one of the better chargers, and I love this because it's kind of out of the way and you don't have a big flat area that's taking up space, and then you can't, that whole spiel, so to speak. But I love the way that this is laid out there. Now we get to the armrest. Oh, but yeah, I'm gonna say it again. Wireless Apple CarPlay. There's no reason we should have this awesome feature and not have wireless Apple CarPlay. So let's get to the armrest, and the armrest is nice and comfortable. The material is super soft, and we get in here and there's not much space. So be aware, you're not gonna get big packages in there or anything like that. Can barely probably fit an envelope the long way there. So just be aware. But yeah, that's comfortable. Let's go ahead and head to the back and see what we have back there. We get to the back and we can see the door just follows from that front. Nice, beautiful design. We have the beautiful Bang & Olufsen finish to the speaker there. We have the incredible door handle pulls there. And we have the sun blockers here, which are nice. I can't put it with one hand, but it's, yeah, there we go. Awesome. But yeah, it's really nice, especially if you have kids in the back and you want to make sure the sun isn't hitting their face. So that's nice. And again, the armrest is really nice. We have lighting, which again, we'll see window down, window up switch. So we also have the heated option for the seat, which is a nice touch, and cool looking cup holder there. And we come down, we have the Bang & Olufsen bigger speaker down there, and a little area for a smaller cup, or a smaller bottle. So don't expect to put too much in here. Now we get over to the seats, and your rear passengers are going to be just as spoiled as you are in the front, minus the venting area. But you do have still heating in this, but really soft, really incredible looking leather. We have connections for USB-C, and the reason why you don't get much storage up here is because it's available for your passengers back here. So they're able to put something there and just kind of lift that, and now they can store things there. And like I said, you have the USB-C connections and the heated option, and yeah, that's the rear. Now I want to talk about this. When we get in, we have this massive glass up there, and it's nice. You get to bring in nature. Now, when you don't want to, you have the button obviously here, but I want you to see how this closes, because this was kind of intriguing. Yeah, so it's actually two panels. We have the panel from the back that goes to the back, and the front one to the front. Now it is nighttime, and we are going to go ahead and turn the car on. You can see we have some ambient lighting at our feet and there, as well as on the doors. And same thing goes for the back seats. So on the doors, we have that there, and it's nice. I like it. It's nice and relaxing. That's the big thing with this. And the cool thing is this. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and turn the car on, and we're gonna see it flips. But again, you could still see that we have that color coming through when you are driving it at night. And let's go ahead and take a look at our color options. Now these are the different color options we have. So we have aquamarine white, we have pearl white, and I'll go ahead and change them, see if we can see a little bit of the difference there. So aquamarine white, that one is really nice. That's the one of the relaxing ones as well. Pearl white, this one's going to be a little bit I guess brighter, And then we start getting some really fun colors if you want to go ahead and give it some more attitude, so to speak. So we have the red, the purple, a different shade of purple, some blue. This is the one that we had earlier, the emerald blue green. That one seems to be my favorite. And then again, if you have that lime green color, it's gonna give you that option there. And like I said, it is also changing them there. I don't know, it actually looks pretty cool. I'm liking this color for maybe this, not necessarily the doors, but the controls are pretty cool to have them in that color. We go for a drive and this thing is super comfortable. Again, the suspension is not giving me all the bumps that I'm going through right now. And yes, it's nice, but it's almost super disconnected. The wheel feels disconnected. I guess the best way I can describe it's like a Bluetooth wheel. Like you get some feedback, but it's just not kind of the feedback that's happening on the road. And it's just that suspension is just monitoring everything and making sure that, you know, you have the most dead feeling sensation in the wheel. Yeah. Not in the sense of like, you know, you're not getting any response or feedback of like tightness, but just literally not feeling the bump, not feeling it through the chassis. So I guess it's okay. But when you're into performance, just tune that differently. Let it be more aggressive. Let it give you more feedback. It is quiet in here. It's super quiet in here because we have like active what they call it, acoustic control, or acoustic control, where it basically listens to things and cancels them out with the speaker system. So yeah, that is a nice aspect of it, because usually EVs can be loud in the sense that you hear everything else when you don't have an engine just roaring. Now, speaking about listening, there is a ton of sound options with this to simulate different sounds. So right now we have it at the smallest change, but I'll go ahead and put it at the largest, and we have it at the futuristic setting. So we'll go ahead and kind of leave it at that, and I'll see if you guys can hear this. Yeah, so that's the futuristic sound, and then I can go to G engine. This is probably the most obnoxious one. It kind of has a growl to it, but it can get really loud, especially in the largest volume. Yeah, it also has kind of a spool of a turbo sound to it. It got a little annoying. So I was definitely in the futuristic. Futuristic feels a little bit calmer and just kind of like soothing when it comes to the sound. And then the E-motor. So let me go to E-motor, and now I'll go ahead. Yeah, so it kind of has a whistle. The whistles go woo woo. That's literally kind of how it sounds, which again, I guess it's fine, but I'll go ahead and just keep it on futuristic, and I'll change it back to moderate. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it on largest so you guys can get the aspects of it and hear it there. Now I'll go into drive mode, and I'm gonna go ahead and switch it to the VGS, so it simulates kind of like the gears that you would in a car. So right now it's saying at 2000 RPM, so it has a small sound. If I accelerate and then I kind of let off, and you kind of feel the gears kind of shifting, and the engine sound is kind of easing off a little bit more. So I guess it's not bad. I like that, but we'll change it so that we can just go ahead and have it set to that way. But there's a ton of different things, so we'll just kind of keep it at that. We'll put it back in eco mode, and I do have the I pedal setting on right now, which is basically their one pedal driving. It is super easy to drive this thing with one pedal. It will come to a complete stop. You still want to press the brake so that it can use the auto hold on that, but overall though, the field of just kind of everyday driving, you're going to want to stay in eco mode. That is where this thing excels in drivability. You want to go like a bat out of hell, we'll go to boost. I'll go ahead and put it in comfort mode, and it definitely gives you a significantly more responsive pedal. So just be aware of that. It can be, if you're not used to EV power, it can be a lot for you. So just be aware of that, because yeah, even if you make it go, it will go. And that's the other thing that is incredible with this Genesis, is that they didn't hold back. So a lot of these EVs, even though you turn off traction control, they monitor, or they basically set up so that the wheels don't spin, because theoretically you could spin the hell out of the tires, and you do with this. So I put it just in sport mode now, and let's have a little bit of fun and see how it handles these turns. And let me tell you, it feels heavy. Yeah. So just be aware of that. This isn't something, even though you have the performance mode, I don't think you're gonna wanna take this out on the track, because it does feel big. And yeah, you're trying to rotate. I don't feel comfortable with getting it. Yeah, it's really just dancing on those tires. And you have to really just use the weight distribution to get this thing turned. And it is flopping around a bit on me because of how heavy it is. But straight line speed, this is where this thing is just so damn fast. And the turns, yeah, it feels so heavy here. And again, I'm not getting the feedback that it feels heavy, which is the concerning thing, because if I didn't know any better, I would have taken that turn a lot faster, because I don't know what's going on with the feedback of those front tires. So yeah, that is definitely a big miss with this Genesis. The next thing I want to show you guys is this thing has a drift mode. It basically turns everything off as far as aids, like driving aids, and making sure that, yeah, it's just a bat out of hell. I'm gonna have to record it on my phone to show you guys, because let's go ahead, and it is a process. So this is how you put your 2024 GV60 Performance in drift mode. So there's a sequence. First, you put it in park, then you put this in sport mode. So you press your drive mode till it is in sport, and then you push and hold the traction control button, and you make it, and you hold it there till it gets completely disabled. And the paddles, you have to hold both paddles down, which I'll go ahead and do. And drift mode activated. That's how you put your Genesis in drift mode. Yes, it's a massive process, and I understand why, because this thing goes like a bat out of hell. I want to show you guys how insane the just front tire spin is with this. So I'll go ahead and brake, hold the pedal, gas pedal, and I'm gonna hit boost and go. Hold it, and yeah, I now stop spinning the tires. That's how insane this thing is. It burns out a lot. We no longer have it in drift mode, and we do have traction control on. We'll go ahead and activate the boost, and we will go. Yeah, so it will do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty quick. And oh, here comes the turn. What's crazy is I feel like a Challenger or Charger would feel lighter than this. I don't know, I'd have to compare the numbers, but that felt more nimble than this SUV does, or this, yes, I know it's a CUV compared to the sedan and that stuff, but it just, I don't know, it just feels super heavy around the corners. And when you boost it, it's just so much fun. It really is, but it's really, really scary too, because again, we get those turns and it just shoots like a bat out of hell. And oh yeah, it was definitely fighting to get the power down in that section. Now, as far as what else has felt this exhilarating on the EV side of things, the BMW XM, yeah, that was really insane at how fast that thing was. But that felt smaller, that in the sense of like size and getting it to turn situation. It felt lighter. It really did. It's insane. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the 2024 Genesis GV60 Performance. And remember, hit that boost button because it'll go.